So my legal name is Elaine Bynum, but if you know me, you know that I've always used Laney. I'm 22 years old. I actually just had a birthday, January 12th. I'm very much in love with my new pets that I got on my birthday. I asked for a dog or a bird, but I got two goldfish. But it doesn't matter because I actually really have fallen in love with them. They like to kiss all day and race. Their names are Hamish and Haley. They're actually right next to me. And the only animal that I do not like is cats. I think they're very evil creatures. All they do is want to scratch. The only thing they're really good for is catching mice. I'm sorry if you're a cat lover. I love animal print, but I do not wear animal products. I chose social work because I really, really love helping people. I know that's the most common answer, but I really do love helping people. And also, I noticed that a lot of people are going through life punching in and punching out at work. And I don't want to be one of those people. I want to look back on my life 50 years from now and say, hey, like what I did actually meant something. I changed somebody's life. I made a difference. Someone looked up to me. And I can smile and actually go to my job with a purpose. I love literature. All I really do is read. Sometimes I listen to audiobooks if we're allowed to. If I have a job. I'm working right now. I actually work for Delmont Technologies. I'm a senior business assistant at an IT firm. And I just think books are so important. When someone is having a baby, I give them a book and a pacifier and whatever else. But I think education is so important, and I just love literature. My favorite book is The Catcher in the Rye. I love The Hunger Games. I love Divergent. I love Twilight with all my heart. Team Edward, by the way. I have a personal library in my room that is pretty much 75% of the room. I love Coca-Cola and Coke products. I do not like the way that Pepsi tastes, which is very interesting because when I was in the womb, that's all my mother drank. She had severe cravings for Pepsi, but I came out loving Coke products. Science. So, my favorite historical figure is actually Malcolm X. Did he have some wrong points in his theories? Yes, but I just find his story so inspirational. And I feel like if we paid more attention to the bad aspects of historical figures as well as the good, we'd have a different perspective and people would be more interested in what they have to say and what they have to offer to history. He went from the jail cell to being one of the most feared men in America by the police and, being followed around by the FBI and different things like that. And there's something inspirational about that because personally, I like knowing about the hardships in somebody's life. Why should I listen to you? What do you have to offer when you come to the table? I don't want to hear about everything that's gone pleasant and everything like that because there's a different layer to people. And he's my favorite historical figure because he shows that you can go from the bottom all the way to the top. So he's my favorite historical figure. For hobbies, I love art. I love writing. I love really any way you can express yourself. Lately, I've been really paying attention a lot to painting. I prefer acrylic paint over oil-based paint or watercolor because watercolor just, it doesn't mix like I want to. And the paper, it's not consistent with the color. I just don't like that. But I'm very proud of the fact that I went to the best high school ever, Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. I never take my ring off. I am a poly parrot until the day I die. I graduated in 2011 near the top of my class. While I was there, I was student representative. I gave school tours. I was one of the loudest people at the pep rally, but most of all, I was a JROTC officer. For those of you that do not know what that stands for, is Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, Air Force to be exact. I graduated Major Elaine Bynum at your service. I helped lead the Corps. I won ribbons, a medal, other types of different honors. We've gone pretty much all over the United States with it. It was an amazing experience. I still stay in contact with a lot of my cadets. I'm very sweet and kind and loving, but when I had my uniform on, I took it very seriously. And it was believed that I was going to go into the military, but unfortunately I didn't get in because I'm sickly, and that's kind of a liability. My favorite movie right now is The Imitation Game. I encourage all of you to go see it, because I think that's really one of those movies that every person needs to see, because it's so relevant to everything that goes on in the world. For those of you that don't know, Alan Turing was a very, very successful math prodigy. He is one of the best known contributors to modern day computer science. And during World War II, the Nazis and other individuals during the war were using something that is called an Enigma machine. It looks like a typewriter, but the thing about it is that it can contribute about I believe it's 10 million different codes, and unless you know the code, you cannot read the messages. So that's why a lot of people didn't know all of the horrors that were going on during that time. And what Alan Turing did is he actually helped create a machine and design the machine. Excuse me, he didn't help create. He created the machine that cracked the code and actually helped us win the war. But unfortunately, at the time, it was illegal to be homosexual where he was. So he got caught having, a relationship. And during the time, you either went to jail or you did court-mandated hormonal therapy. And unfortunately, at the time, they didn't really know what they were doing with hormonal therapy. And it was a very painful, humiliating experience. You're taken to court on your charges, you have a trial and everything, and he chose to do the hormonal therapy. And unfortunately, at the end of a year of taking the court-mandated hormonal therapy, he ended his life. And I think that's a really, really important issue we need to pay attention to, is social injustice. And that is one of the best examples ever that I can think of. I encourage everyone to see the movie. It's phenomenal. I think it received several awards and nominations, and it's just a brilliant, brilliant film. And I hope that more teachers, pay attention to this kind of issue, because that is something that is very relevant today. Currently, I'm a volunteer at William S. Bear School. It's across the street from Coppin. It's a school for mentally and physically disabled children. We do accept age 2 to 21, but most of them are between the age of 4 and 13. It depends on what level they're at, whether we can, service them to the best of their ability. My favorite subject is history. My favorite topic in histories to discuss are the Jewish Holocaust and, the American slave trade, obviously, because it relates to me. My likes in life are polite people that are interesting, people that have interesting ideas, animals, animal print. Dislikes are rude people that drive reckless. I do not believe in using any type of recreational drugs, alcohol, marijuana, any of that, but I try to be more sensitive to those who do. Alright, well, it's been great talking to you, and hopefully let's have a great semester.